deck. Basically, I'd messed up and I thought I was playing with 22 lands yesterday. The entire stream I thought I had 22 lands. I made a simple mistake in deck building when I was importing the decks. There was supposed to be 2 faded pools in it, and apparently I forgot to port them over when I was borrowing the cards, so that was 110% my fault. So, anyway, the 5 drops really didn't work out yesterday, and I noticed in the games that even when we did get the 5 mana, we never actually wanted to cast a 5 drop, and we sideboarded it out quite a bit. So, in this build, we actually went down to 21 lands that I can actually see it's 21 lands, and we cut the 5 drops. But basically, we're going to run the same thing. Still feel like Chupacabra needs to be somewhere in this deck, and I think I might want a second Scarab after a little bit more testing, but I'm pretty sure this is the cards that I want to test the most. Hey James, what's up, man? How sick are you? Like, what kind of sick are you? I hope you're feeling better. Hope your kid's feeling better too. Anyway, we're going to jump right into this game, and hopefully we win some magics. Ooh! We have some interesting cards today. Or in our hand. We have some of our powerful cards here. Unfortunately speaking, they almost always have 1 removal spell, so that makes this Winding Constrictor considerably less good. Oh wow. Well, we're easily just casting turn 2 Winding Constrictor, Vin. You said it wasn't actually the flu? It's just flu-like, you said? Uh, 3-2. We ended up 1-1 versus Teamer Splashing Black and 2-1 versus Esper Approach. So we actually have some choices here. I think I want to lead with Adamas Climb. It puts this out of Chandra range. Feels like that's the most reasonable play. It also lets us get in for an attack. Hey JJ, what's up, man? It gives us some options next turn too, because like, say he doesn't have the Lightning Strike and doesn't kill the Winding Constrictor, then we get to flip the Climb for the 4th mana for like a Bristling Hydra. But I mean, there's a good chance that he's got a Lightning Strike or something. But even if he does find a way to kill our snake, like, playing the Bristling Hydra next turn still isn't that bad for us. What kind of deck did you lose to, Murph? Alright, so we could technically put 2 counters on this with this thing. Makes it 6, attack for 12. Is it possible to lose that race? It doesn't feel like it's possible to lose that race. I mean, I guess it's possible to lose that race. Just takes like a Winding Constrictor or something. Or sorry, a Whirl of Virtuoso. Or, you know, something to kill this. I don't think I want to do all of that. So he's got 8 power. Gotta think about this for a second, because we have, you know, just a ton of options. I think I like playing this, or sorry, putting 2 counters on this to make it a 6 and attacking. There's a decent chance that he double blocks. If he double blocks, we get to trade this for that. And then Fatal push that off. And we still have a Bristling Hydra and a Adamas Climb on the table? I feel like that's probably the best option. I think getting the Bristling Hydra out's Like, it replaces the Winding Constrictor. The Winding Constrictor's already done its job here. Let's read chat. Damn, had 3 or 4 main deck Doomfalls and Freebooters. Doomfall? There's a Doomfall in this format? Didn't know there was a Doomfall. Top end of a Scarab and Tetsamonic. Tetsamonic's going to be a sweet card. So Fargo's gross stunk weed, not in a good way either. That sucks, man. Does this Fatal Push get better than just taking away 3 energy? Probably. Falcon Raft Gorgeous, man, that is old. Oh, Doomfall! I was thinking Doomblade. I'm sorry. I was thinking the 2 mana one. Wow, I'm an idiot. Wow, I'm an idiot. Alright, so he's an Electrostatic Pummeler, so that means he's probably also running Hadama's Climb. But thanks to our Walking Ballista and our Fatal Push, we have 3 ways to beat that card in combat. So let's think about this. We can pump our guy to a 5. He can pump his guy to a 6, so I guess we have to take it. Well, he has to block then, right? So he has to chump block with the Electrostatic Pummeler here? Huh. Feels like he has to chump block with the Electrostatic Pummeler here if we just pump up the jam. Go ahead and play this to start our turn. So if we just make this bigger, I guess he doesn't have to block, double block. Alright, I'm just gonna play the Winding Constrictor then. Sorry, the Walking Ballista. And we're gonna go ahead and try to burn as much of his energy as possible. Burning as much of his energy as possible here. Alright, do we have to worry about Hadana's Climb? No, we don't, because he can't get the energy and pump it. Alright, let's just read the chat. So I switched to the LR episode, and I don't understand how everyone thinks Ascend is impossible to attain. I think Ascend's pretty decent. Man, the Pirates decks looked pretty decent from what I've watched. Ascend's what you get when you get the 10 permanents in play, the City Blessing thing. The Snake would have only done 12 damage. He was at 16. There wasn't any way for me to make the Snake do more damage. This just doubles his power and toughness, and I didn't get counters this turn. So the Snake flying would have just been 12 damage, leaving him at 4. And if I spent 4 mana to give the Snake flying, I could have only played the Walking Ballista for 1, i.e. 2 because of the thing. He would have been at 2 life. Unless I missed it, unless I'm counting at math wrong, I believe he would have been at 2 life if I'd went for the attack. I could have missed it, though. Alright, so he's playing Pummeler, and Pummeler's a little interesting. I think we want this versus Pummeler. It's a reasonable blocker versus most of his things anyway, while also being able to be used versus the Pummeler itself. I'm not sure about these other removal spells. They're not good versus Bristling Hydra, which is the real scary thing. The Thrashing's also good versus the Cartouche that gives flying. what else do we got looking at here? I generally like some negates versus decks like this, and or some duress type effects. Not sure which I want here. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in trying that card too. Think I'm going to shave at least one Hadama's Climb. Not sure what else we're going to shave here. I think we played a control role in this match. I'm not sure. Let's shave one blessing. I want some number of negates and or duresses. I think duress is a little bit better versus removal, while negate's a little bit better versus his other stuff. I wonder if I can just take out Vraska's Contempt, or if that's too much. I'm going to take out a second Blossoming Defense. I'm struggling to think about what the last card I want to take out is. I think I'm actually going to cut a Glint Siphoner. I don't think the games go super long. I don't think they're super great, but he did show us that he's the red version. He had Rootbound Crags, so that means he's going to have some Harness Lightnings and stuff. This hand's pretty solid. Again, we have another Winding Constrictor draw. Yeah, it's just like the old Verdant Force. Like it's a pretty good card. It's insane and limited. Star of Extinction's kind of an interesting card. I really want that. Just flavor-wise, I want that to see play. I very much want that to see play just from a flavor standpoint. You know me. I'm all about the flavor. I think I'm willing to take one crack for that and try to go ahead and get down our Walking Ballista. Or sorry, our Winding Constrictor. On turn 5, you're going to have 5. Hopefully he doesn't have a removal spell, but even if he has a removal spell, we have a pretty solid turn where we can just like play Fatal Push and Long Tusk Cub. If he doesn't have a removal spell, we get the Dance Factor some No Tomorrows. Might go all in on this, who knows? He did not go all in on that, which is always a little scary. I think I'm gonna play this one. Go ahead and kill this now, because he probably has negates, blossoming defenses, and dive downs. The Fling Command. I almost forgot about that dude. Alright, well, that one's an interesting one. Now it makes me wish I'd played the Effer Hub last turn. So I have to actually do this turn. Or I can't attack with the Long Tusk Cub if I don't do that. And unlike him, our energy is considerably less useful, so we're definitely going to get Swow here. The question is, do I want to play the Walking Ballista for 1 or not? I think I like the idea of playing it for 1. That might be overkill. I like playing it for 1 because next turn we can play the Brontodon while having up the Brontodon activation and the Fatal Push, so like just making it harder and harder for us to actually die to an Electrostatic Pummeler. He's going to have to beat us to Fairway. Another removal spell is obviously great. Fingered for lethal again. I did not know that it said again on it. I'd forgot about that. No, we'll just attack with the big ditty. Okay. Uses some kind of removal spell, uses some kind, or sorry, some kind of protection spell, uses some kind of protection spell. We're not too concerned with things like that. Hey, Corlight, long time, man. Not saw you in a while. We'll just go ahead and jam this one. Permission from the teacher. I'm afraid to even think of what that... So that's an electrostatic pummeler. That's, a lot. So he could have multiple pummelers, but I think it's still safer to go ahead and shoot this turn. And hopefully this will somewhat tap him out. Alright, so that's a spell pierce. He's down to 2 cards. Start with the attack, in case we have to sack the thrashing this turn. Thank you. I highly appreciate it. Yeah, it looks like it's 4 colors. Go ahead and pump this dude up. Deal our 7 damage. Let's start with this on that. And even if he has a blossoming defense to protect it, we still have this guy. Which obviously isn't our favorite way to kill it, but it is a way to kill it. He's at least played Rogue Refiner and Spell Pierce that we know of. Hey, what's up? What's up, Blade Ogre? Hope you're having... Ooh! Don't you just love it when we get to be cute? To the graveyard, we just want removal spells. Actually, to the graveyard on that one too. So we got our 6/5. Pump that guy up to 7. And now he's got to protect himself from 3 threats next turn. Our deck fired on all... Well, we saw the Spell Pierce as well. Our deck fired on all cylinders this game. I know it's just one game, but it felt much more consistent with the 21st land. We got to do the 6/5. That's always fun. 6/5 for 3 mana. Not just 6/5 for 3 mana. 6/5 for 3 mana and getting rid of 2 cards we didn't want to draw. Which is pretty huge. But anyway, this is the updated build that I was discussing at the end of yesterday's stream. Yeah, Jade Light Ranger's really fun, but Hadana's Climb is definitely my favorite card of the set. Jade Light Ranger's probably better than Climb, but Climb's just fun. Climb is so fun. We got to do really sweet things game 1. I wish there was like 2 Winding Constrictors. I just want 8 Winding Constrictors in my deck. I think this hand's a keep. It's a little on the weak side, but I feel like the Fatal Pushes are good enough versus enough decks that this is a keep. The Blossoming Defense is a bit like a mulligan here, but... May end up not being. Passive Scrubbery is a great card. Yeah, that card's really cool too. Explorer's already a powerful mechanic. He didn't even cancel Friday Night Magic tonight, so I doubt he's canceled his pre-release either. Silver Gale Adept versus Merfolk. This is cool. I'm instantly excited that we're versus Merfolk. Let's see what Merfolk he showed us real quick. Has flying as long as you control another Merfolk. That's a really nice Merfolk. Alright, well. Yeah, I wish I could go to a pre. But so far they haven't canceled it. I don't know what your forecast is over there, but it's going to be relatively safe over this way. So we have to read this card. The reading's not my favorite thing, but we will endure. Whenever another Merfolk enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 on Merfolk you control. Not too worried about that card. We do have double black in their deck, so I'm going to get the black mana here. There's a good chance I kill that card next turn or something, but I think it's pretty safe to leave it in play this turn. I think we can leave it in play for one turn, especially with the Fatal Push in our hand. The Fatal Push will kill the vast majority of things that he can put the counters on. You sound like me when I play Limited. So he made 2 1/1s? And he's attacking. Draw. I think I like the idea of playing this one. And then it's just like having 2 ways to kill that. It plays around Blossoming Defense. Feels like it plays around Blossoming Defense the best. There's a good chance that I don't use it right now though, because like I'm willing to take a damage next turn to get the Hadana's Climb flipped. And to see where he like puts his counters and stuff. He's down to 3 cards. Like we've got gas for days right now. We've solved this card, so we'll go ahead and get rid of it. I guess we're just gonna go ahead and get rid of this. If he has a double Blossoming Defense, we kind of get got a little bit, but we're fine with that. Actually done that in bad order. I should have blocked, or probably should have tried to block, but I wasn't going to block anyway. But he doesn't have anything else? So what do we have now? You just play double spell and take 2 more damage. I'm pretty sure I'm fine with that. Well, I wouldn't get blown out by Lord because I'd be casting it in response. He'd have to have double Blossoming Defense or double of that type of effect rather. I think I'll put that one in the bottom of our graveyard. We've already got... We'll keep that one on top. We already have kind of like a lot of gas in this spot. Pose, seconds, options. The flash and makes... Oh. I didn't know that was actually even a card. He's got 2 of those cards? Or sorry. It's just 1/1 if you have Merfolk or an island. The or an island clause was really cool on that. So what do we got going on now? So he's tapping... Oh, he's just making this thing a 6/6? I don't really feel like I want to take any more damage. I feel like we're far enough ahead that there's no point of taking this damage. Alright, so this is just colorless, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're going to play this. Going to play this. Going to go ahead and cast this here and get rid of it while we can. Opponent's just scooping at that point. He didn't even get to see our Hadana's Climb. The Merfolk was doing cool stuff, but... I mean, I don't know if Refiner's better than Whirler Virtuoso, but I put a pretty high stock in Whirler Virtuoso, probably unreasonably so. I think we just want all of our removal spells here. I don't know what all they could have, but like all of these cards seem pretty good. I actually kind of think maybe I want Scarab. The game probably doesn't go long enough to want Scarab, does it? I mean, I wouldn't say I want it. I think if they actively want to damage energy, it almost needs it. So we're just gonna bring in our removal. I think we're gonna cut a couple more Blossoming Defenses here. Like, we've just not got pair versus matches that Blossoming Defenses are particularly great versus right now. He's blue-green. Like, I don't care if he bounces my spells. I don't care if he bounces my spells at all. Well, we have no land, so that's a pretty easy decision. Again, we have no land. Alright, we'll keep it. We'll keep that too. He could have Spell Pierce for this turn 1 attune, which would actually get us pretty decent. Go ahead and grab the black mana because we have that Die Young. We have at least 2 energy anyway for our 2 double green spells. I guess we'll probably just go ahead and kill that one. Since we don't have anything better to use our mana on, and we know we can like curve out spells for the next couple of turns. But you know, mulliganing twice is obviously really bad. Yeah, we don't have to spend the energy, so that's nice. So what do we have going on here? Blossoming Defense we definitely don't want. Winding Constrictor I don't think we want right now. So we got a 4/3. As long as he's mana screwed, like we do race pretty good right now. Another Jadelight Ranger. We'll attack with our 3 mana 4/3. And play this one. No, Gonti deck is rubbish. Fair enough. We'll play our other 4/3. This one's a little bit better than the last one. Uses our mana efficiently as well. That way, in case we draw Fatal Push or Winding Constrictor, we can get some amount of value out of them. Well, he drew a 3rd land. Feels like unless he's got a Lord, he's going to have to start holding back and maybe doing some blocking. Alright, that one can't be blocked. So the max damage we can take this turn's 2. Well, we're just going to start by attacking with both. Just chump blocking one? That's kind of good for us. This 5 damage a turn or more, though. Fatal Push will definitely keep a random removal spell here. Definitely keep a learn, and we present lethal at this point as well. Unless he has a lord or something relevant to add to the board, he's still 3 attack steps away from killing us. I like how we're beating a Merfolk player with our own Merfolk. Other Merfolk get +1/+1. Alright, that's a good one. Can't deny that card from being good. That one can't be blocked, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we could die here if he has another one of these. A pretty good draw. And we're going to start with this and hope that it resolves. If it doesn't resolve, we're just dead on board, right? Oh, he's unsummoning it? Yep, we're just dead on board then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just dead on board, can't do anything. For a mulligan to 5 on the draw versus an aggro deck, like we made a game of it. He pretty much has to go for it here. If he's got 2 of them, he definitely goes for it. Alright. Worked out well. They're faded and Merfolk is a force. Eh? I didn't see anything that makes me really want to change any way that we've sideboarded. I think we're just going to resubmit. Being on the play is going to help us a lot here. Also, hopefully being able to keep 7 cards will help us. It didn't show me anything to make me want this card. Don't think the games go long enough for the Scarab. Oh, we could just not have mana again, I guess. I'm going to keep this hand anyway. It's a rough one. We are set up for a nut draw though, if we can like get another 2-drop maybe, or like draw a land in our next 2 turns. That card's actually going to be useful as well. I'm going to play this one because it uses the mana best. Next turn we can attune for a swamp and play the Walking Ballista. If we don't draw a land, if we do draw a land, we can just like play the Jade Light Ranger. So you get to draw a card with that one. Not bad, not bad. Well, we drew the land, so we're just going to go with the Jade Light Ranger. I don't actually want a second one of these. The Shaper Sanctum's actually really good. That's a really nice card for that deck. I can't even call that card bad. That card is really nice for that deck. See what's going on here. Like, we're certainly ahead in the race. Yeah, we're way ahead in the race. Let's see what Merfolk showed us. Alright. Not a very good one, so... I'm gonna play this. We'll start with an attack. I'm really hoping to get to play the Bristling Hydra here. Sure. Maybe that one was a bit greedy, I'm not sure. So now he's drawing that next turn, which is something we have to be mindful of. He's got something else this turn. So it looks like we're going to have to do math now. I don't really want to do math. Alright, so he's going to have next turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage. 15 damage. I played a Walking Ballista for 3. And in theory, kill all 3 of these. Just attack, he could trade. Don't want to let him trade. That's really bad for us. He's not going to draw any card if we don't target him. There's no guarantee that we have to target him with anything. Kinda just want to attack, but man, if he blocks, that's really bad for us. He's got another card in his hand still. I feel like the best chance for me winning this game is that Hadamas Climb. I think I'm just playing the Hadamas Climb here. Potentially flipping it. And not attacking. That's what I think I'm doing. So this is what I think I'm doing. Maybe I don't want to flip it. Yeah, I like the idea of flipping it. If I flip it, I can attack with this guy and actually use the Fatal Push. It's to draw a card for that, but it stops me from dying next turn. I think I want to play this one. So this is one I can use on multiple of his attackers, or I can just block with it. I think it gives me the most options. So what's going on now? So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I'm just going to block this. So 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if he has a blossoming defense or something, we can just try to kill this thing. Alright, I guess I'm going to take my 12. Kinda 2 lethal threats going for this next turn. Just was the plan here the whole time. Right, we're going to start with this. feel like this requires him to get pretty lucky to beat us. So it gives us 2 different lethal threats. This game was really close. This Merfolk deck was kind of impressive. This card was great. I don't think this game wouldn't even been close if I wasn't playing around letting him draw cards. So you had to hit like a Blossoming Defense and have a spell, and have an Unsummon here to beat us. Or like a Blossoming Defense and a Spell Pierce. Now, opponent's deck was kind of impressive. So yeah, I thought he had to have that. I did mess up though. I could have played around Spell Pierce because for some reason I didn't play my land that turn. I don't think I played my land that turn. Yeah, I didn't play my land that turn, I don't think. That was really bad of me. So we could have made it to where he had to have Blossoming Defense plus Spell Pierce to beat us, and we didn't play around that. Yeah, the Merfolk deck looks impressive. Like, I underrated it to begin with, but that come out really fast. It turned a corner when it was really far behind. This card was just a beautiful sideboard card. I'm actually excited for Merfolk now. Oh, I'm going to have to look at the Candio stream then. I'm going to have to go back and check his VODs because I am definitely pretty interested in a deck like this. I think it's kind of cute, by the way, that we removed all the counters from Walking Ballista, yet Walking Ballista is still alive until end of turn. When oh man, I don't know why, but that blows my mind how good I think that was. I might have to order some beta unsummons for real life. If I order a beta card in real life, I'm pretty well locked in on a deck. I fully admit, I was just like, wow, that was sweet. Like, I felt super far ahead that game too, and he was just like, no, you're still just dead. In game 1, I know we won, but like, we kind of had one of our best draws possible, and he made it close. In game 3, we had another great draw, yet it was still really close. I mean, I feel like what I'm doing is just not as powerful as what he's doing. Wow. So this hand's pretty decent. It's obviously going to have to try to hit a couple lands. We have 21 in the deck, though. Ooh, mono red. This is not a good hand to fight versus mono red with, I don't think. I think we're going to get another green here because there's a chance we're going to want to play this Blossoming Defense at some point. Man, oh man. I'm going to go look at the Candio build right now. He still posts all his stuff on Twitter, right? I think he still posts all his stuff on Twitter. Now let's check out this deck. It goes up to 4 drops? I don't want to play 4 drops. There's none of that sweet enchantment in the sideboard either. Primal Hunger. Primal Hunger can win board stalls like nobody's business. I don't think I want to play this just yet. I'm just going to try to trade. I'd rather try to play this when it's a 4-4. And like if he had a lightning strike or something, he kills it the same. This is only worse versus shock. Because I'm 100% blocking if he attacks. My goal is just to get to our bigger spells. No, I definitely like this. Merfolk have legs, so to speak. Rampaging Ferocitodon's really nice. And we didn't hit our land, so that puts us in a bad spot. What do we got here? Let's pull up JJ's list. Let's hang back up. Yeah, I'm not reading these cards. Sorry if I'm mildly distracted. Water Trapper. No, I'm definitely interested in that deck. And they've got a Hazoret that they're going to attack with next turn. Well, this game's pretty much over. Our opponent played a 2-drop, 3-drop Hazoret, and we didn't play a third land. So, we don't really have many chances to come back here at all. We have to hopefully be able to even block. Which isn't super likely. Like, there's a good chance he has a removal spell, whether it be Chandra or Lightning Strike or something, but like, that works too. That pretty well gets us. Discard a card to put us at 10, attack with everything. Even if I block, I go to 2, and then he's got all of that. So yeah, we died pretty quickly there. I feel like this match didn't used to be bad, but maybe it is now. Maybe the additional cards have made it terrible. We definitely want to die young. That's the main reason they're in the deck, is because of this match. We want the Scarab God because it can close games really good. Vraska's pretty easy. I actually think I want these 3/4s as well. I think they're just nice bodies to try to block with. We're definitely getting rid of the climbs to begin with, and probably getting rid of some of the Glint Siphoners since we brought in extra 2-drops. Still have 8 2-drops that we can play. 9 with the Siphoner, you know, 12 with these, and then we have 6 2-drop removal spells we can also play. I feel like this deck looks like it would be good versus Mono Red, but we'll find out. Mono Red's been my constant bane. Like, with the exception of Whirler Virtuoso, I feel like this deck is every card that I want versus Red. It's a little bit slow, but I think it's good enough to keep. I think it's good enough to keep. There's not enough blue spells that matter in our deck, and we have plenty of double green spells. So we're just going to go ahead and get a forest with this. We sideboarded out all the blue spells except for the Scarab. We have this for the blue. We really need it anyway. I think we'll just hold the Walking Ballista. We can use the Fatal Push on anything he plays, so there's no reason to get the Walking Ballista shocked or whatever. And Walking Ballista would have only been able to do anything versus exactly Earthshaker anyway, or like a random Beaumont Courier or whatever he drew. While the Fatal Push can deal with all of that, plus the Monkey Maker. Hopefully this will turn into at least a 4-3. I like saying at least a 4-3 when it can't physically get any bigger. Always yield. Well, I guess we'll keep that. So we got our 4-3, and then we have a follow-up Bristling Hydra. So he could just kill this. Even if he does, we have a Hydra, so we have some amount of gas. Going to attack first. Attacking's bad because, like, it lets Shock eat this, but Shock will always be able to eat this. There's not really a turn where Shock wouldn't eat that. It's really interesting sequencing by him. I feel like he took 4 damage he didn't really have to take. For us to do, you're our favorite for us to do. Huh. Another bristling Hydra, you say? I think I'm just going to attack for 4. I'm willing to trade these, I think, but I wouldn't even trade them. I would just pay to 1. Or the 3 to give it the 1. Can't believe how absolutely mind blown I am by how good that Merfolk deck looked. Climb has been absolutely great. Climb has been one of the best cards by a decent amount even. I've been constantly impressed about how good Climb has been. Obviously, versus a match like this, we have to sideboard it out, but it just breaks up board stalls and puts on such weird amounts of pressure. And it being a ramp spell has been actually shockingly good at just being a ramp spell. Like, it's just flipping and giving us an extra land has been shockingly good. Not shockingly good, because like, I expected it to be good, but it's been very good. Pretty sure I'm just going to attack with both. If he takes the damage, we can do some like pumpy up stuff and finish him off with the Walking Ballista. We have a high enough life total that I'm not really worried about the attack back. Yeah, I assumed he would do some blocking. So that lets us do this. Wait. Oh, if I controlled left a battlefield. Man, I read this card wrong every time I play. Well, I'm an actual idiot. I'm too bad to play Magic, guys. That could actually be a game-costing mistake. So, 3, 6, 11... Alright, never mind. It's not a game-costing mistake. Nobody cares. Wow, I'm an idiot. I have misplayed that card so long. It's Bone Picker that doesn't care which one gets done where. Like, I keep confusing that card for Bone Picker. Wow, that is terrible. Just terrible of me. Our last round opponent was just playing blue-green Merfolk, and it was really, really good. Yeah, I keep getting confused when I play that card in Bone Picker, and I don't know why. Like, there's no reason for me to make mistakes like that. I thought I had, I was thinking Revolt was the same thing as Bone Picker, and it's not. Like, that's just really, really stupid of me. Geo cheating on Simi helping him out? I don't understand what that means. Luckily, we were really far ahead. We had a great draw, and our opponent had a kind of medium draw. I'm not changing anything from the play to the side in this match. I still just don't really want the glints. Some of them are okay, because like they trade with enough of his cards, but overall, we don't really want them. And all this other stuff's too slow, especially on the draw. Yeah, I can't believe I did that. Man, I do some embarrassing stuff on streams. It's not like I haven't played with Revolt for a year. Why do I not know what Revolt does? This hand's not good, but I'm going to keep it. This is not the type of hand that typically wins this match. I mean, it's just a Sultai deck. I don't know if you would call it a brew. Like, there's nothing super special about it. It's just Sultai. This is not typically the type of hand that wins these matches, but I do believe this hand's a little bit too good to mulligan. Like, not having a removal spell, you should almost... I should have probably mulliganed to see if I could get a Fatal Push or a Walking. The fact that they played turn 1 Ramunap runes, though, could be good for me. Nah, it could not be good for me, too, if they just have a bunch of Ramunaps. I just don't have time to play the Duress, right? Like, I'm supposed to be playing things on turn 1 and 2 the best that I can. I guess I'll try to play this one and be greedy. There's some chance that I can hold the Beaumont Courier back, but there's not a lot of chance. Yeah, so opponent just had his lands anyway, but he didn't have a mountain. This one's the better one if it actually survives. It did not survive. Opponent's down to 2 cards, getting ready to draw 3. Our Kingdom for a Fatal Push. That's not a Fatal Push at all. Kingdom for a Fatal Push. Well, this went poorly quickly. Is that the only one he's going to attack with? I'm tempted to block it and just use a Blossoming Defense. Like, he could have plenty of removal spells and this doesn't work out well for me, but... probably not losing the game anyway? Or, sorry, not winning the game anyway if he does have something like that? Guess I'm just playing this one. I have 11 removal spells if you count the snake, so not drawing removal spells is something that doesn't make me happy. Okay, if he's just killing the Lone Tusk Cub, I'll clearly let him have the Lone Tusk Cub. Opponent tapped the Ramunap runes and gave us another turn to draw a removal spell for Beaumont. Wait, why didn't he play the Earthshaker pre-combat? Oh my god. Right in time, fam. Just shouldn't have played this Soulscar Mage, and he probably should have played this pre-combat. Alright, so like the game's not over by a long shot, but like opponent definitely gave us chances that I don't think we deserved this game. We definitely have chances I don't think we deserve. If he's just attacking with that, I think I'm going to use the Blossoming Defense to gain 5 life. Because I believe I'm going to have to draw a card with the Glint. Don't really like doing this. Don't really like doing this, but I feel like if we don't draw an answer for that card, we're going to die. I like doing it a whole lot more now. I'm still on a pretty bad clock here. Like, he beats us really quickly in this spot. But we do have, you know, 3 Vraska's Contempts and 2... what do you call it? 2, shoot. I'm terrible at the words. 2 die youngs, which we can get back with this. I think these are my blocks. If he finishes this off, the Hydra survives. We still just take 2 damage. Need a contempt. Yeah, I knew he was going to have a removal spell there. Not attacking, or attacking with the one things makes no sense if he didn't have a removal spell. Alright, I guess we just play this one then. And get ready to throw this Bristling Hydra under the bus. While we still look for a contempt. Couldn't actually take it because there was too good of a chance that he drew like a spell that could have killed us. I'd rather just see if we draw contempt. Can buy something back in a second. Oh wow, that blossoming defense is actually really, really good again. Does that blossoming defense let us attack? I think blossoming defense lets us attack. Alright, so you can't buy back Kenra. So say throws 2 damage at the end of our turn, we go to 6. On his turn, needs a lightning strike, we go to... Yeah, we have to attack. Think he should consider blocking there? So we're going to take 2 damage here. We're going to buy back a Bristling Hydra that can block a Hazoret. Hey Sean, what's up, man? Then next turn, the plan is to get his Earthshaker Kenra and make him not be able to block and go for the win. Hopefully it works out. It feels like it works out. Don't think we'd even have these turns if opponent had played differently earlier. How are you and Kim doing? Flu's a terrible thing. Hope you guys are getting much better. You've been off work and everything? Like, I don't know how bad it's been. Alright, so... Not blocking. So we're going to buy back the Bristling Hydra. Because it is our biggest one. Get our 2 damage. During our upkeep, we're going to buy back his Earthshaker Kenra. To get an additional 2 damage on him. And it should give us potentially multiple lethal threats, especially with the blossoming defense. Well, not multiple lethal, but like, you can't deal with 3 different attackers here. That sucks, man. It's been real dangerous this year. A lot of people have died to it this year. It amazes me how like easily it's just going through our local community. So this doesn't do us any good at this point. And I'm just going to attack with them all. He's got one card in hand, so I don't know how he survives this. Especially when we have a blossoming defense. To like pump up one if there was some kind of miracle thing that happens. Alright. So we solved that puzzle. Opponent made some plays that I found interesting. I'm not saying they were wrong, just saying they were interesting. And then we top decked that fatal push, and then we kind of got lucky. I kind of want a second scarab in my sideboard. A nice 3-0 though to start the league. Keep in mind, guys, that we do try to stream every day here. Well, we stream every day here. It's almost always standard. And if you like watching, if you like seeing, if you like watching what you see, if you're enjoying the stream, click the follow button. I can't talk English. Also, there's links down below to my Twitter where you can see every time I go live, every deck list I play, and my YouTube channel where you can see the majority of our past streams. If you're already watching from the YouTube channel, keep in mind a link to the Twitter, the Twitch, and the deck list is in the description of every video, and there'll be the version 1 of this deck video going up later tonight. Alright, back to reading the chat. Yeah, I'm still not really sure why he didn't play the Earthshaker Kenra the one turn. Like, if I'd used the counter, then he could have killed the Bristling Hydra with the Rampaging Ferostodon. Trading the Rampaging Ferostodon for just a Lone Tusk Cub didn't feel good. And if I didn't use the, if I didn't put a counter on it to where he could have made that trade, then I couldn't block at all. So I just take 3. So like maybe he was actively trying to get me to trade the Cub, but I don't think the Cub was worth the Ferostodon when he was already ahead. Hey, Tilanus. I'm gonna assume that's how you pronounce your name. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I think I want a second Scarab God in the sideboard. Not sure how I'm feeling about this Nissa. It might be time for us to cut this Nissa. There's going to be a lot more decks like Mono Red and Merfolk in the format too. We might want to cut one Climb for one Walking Ballista. Really? They're going to stream something live on Facebook? That's, man, the world today is changing a lot. Man, the Merfolk deck looked nice. I'm not actually sure, Sean. Like, this is just version 2 of the deck, but this is the deck that I showed you from the spoilers that I wanted to work on most. We don't know what to sleeve week 1 until Monday, because, I can't tell you, yes, you should sleeve this deck, because Monday, there's a good chance this card's not legal anymore. There's a decent chance this card's not legal anymore. So, like, if those cards aren't legal, we have to make a lot of changes. If those cards ain't legal, I'm probably playing Merfolk. Which I guess that means we can still just buy these. This card's great. This card has been overly good. This card has felt so good. This card's won so many matches. I've actually enjoyed this card a pretty decent amount. I think it's right to keep it in the sideboard, but I've liked it a lot. If they don't ban anything, I'm probably I have to tune this deck to beat Teamer, but I feel like this deck's better than Teamer. Not on face, not as the 75 stands, but like I feel like we'll be better versus the field than Teamer. Maybe I just overrate Hadana's Climb. I think they will. I mean, I'm not guaranteeing it or anything, but I believe that they've gave enough hints that they're going to ban something. Hey, we won a dice row. I've played this guy before. Don't remember what he played then, and this is an entirely new format, so what he played then is kind of irrelevant. I have a very strong hand with a lot of different options. I feel like he played mono red the last time we played him. Ooh, Evolving Wilds. So this is something new indeed. Alright, I'm going to play the greedy play first. I'm going to try with this thing. If he doesn't have a removal spell, we get to do really cool stuff with the Effer Hub and the Jade Ranger into the double cub. He went and got a plane, so there's a good chance that there's like going to be like sweepers from his deck. Yeah, there's a great chance there's going to be sweepers from his deck then. I can get that later. Hopefully he's playing 60 lands. I don't think I want this. I definitely don't want this. Alright. 8 power and play on turn 3. Now he's got to live 3 more turns to even cast a Fumigate. It's not impossible, but like, we certainly put a lot of pressure on. There's no guarantee that he's drawn a Fumigate, right? Yeah. The odds of him getting the Fumigate are considerably lower than they were a second ago. So here's kind of an interesting question. Do I go ahead and throw these on this so we can flip this? I believe so. It's less upfront damage, but it plays around this card getting cast out while letting us commit another threat to the board as well. So like this card was just insane again. Not only did it make this 8 power, it let us ramp into this. We still have a threat in our hand if things go badly. We have a 16-point flying attacker next turn. How ridiculous is that? Kinda want the Walking Ballista back now. So what does this thing do? At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have the City's Blessing, reveal the top card of your library and opponent pays the life for it. Okay, sure. So basically he's forced into chumping here, or he's just dead. Let's cancel this for half a second. So we know we're going to go ahead and pump this up on this attack. So if we make this an 8 and attack with them all, we actually deal more damage, right? So he has to chump block here. I guess he could just chump block this and go to 1. He's not likely to do that though, so he's probably just going to chump block one of these. So I think I deal more damage by just pumping that up. We're going to hold our threats. I'm not going to play the Siphoner because I'm afraid of Fumigate. Like, Fumigate's the only card I'm afraid of right now. It does, but we don't have enough mana to use the Reach as well. So, like, Fumigate is what I thought he was going to play. Just gonna play this. Sorry. Gonna play this. You still have actual gas for days. I'm specifically not playing the other glint because he could have just a second fumigate. And I'm pretty worried about him just having a second fumigate. And if he doesn't have a second fumigate, we get to kill him anyway. Well, I guess he could have like a fatal push or something. JK, he can't even have a fatal push then. So 3 for that, 2 for that. So we attack with both. We're going to get an energy. We're going to pump that up to 4. Or we're going to make it... Or sorry, we're going to pump that up to 3. So fatal push is a card to think about right now. What's the odds he has fatal push? I guess they're pretty decent. It's not fatal push at any other point. I mean, I guess this is fine. 8 damage? How greedy am I? I think I am just going big. I don't think he's played this game in a manner that makes me think he actually has fatal push. I could also just throw the fatal push on this one at this point, and it's the same amount, or I get to deal 6 damage of that one. Well, it's still 10 damage either way, but this way it's split up. Well, that worked out pretty well. I think it's right to go for it there. They just play a bunch of, like, fumigates, and, like, he's got the anointed procession, so it's just, like, a lot of things he could probably play. I don't even know what all of them are. This Twilight Prophet card's kind of interesting. Alright, so versus that type of deck, we definitely want these. I think we kind of want to sideboard like we're playing versus a control deck. This card can actually win games pretty easily in these type of matches as well. I think the Scarab God's pretty good in these type of matches as well. So I kind of think we just want all 12 of these. I don't think we can actually fit all 12 of these in our deck, mind you. But they're the cards that I think that I want. Pretty reasonably cutting those easily. And here's the problem. I think every card in our deck's good at this point. I actually think every card in our deck is good. I guess we'll just start with the removal till we see some cards that we actually want to get rid of. Which means we can't afford to get all of these sideboard cards in. I think I'll shave on one climb too. I've been shaving on one climb versus the Fumigate decks pretty reliably. Feel like I want the rest of this stuff. Most of the rest of this stuff. I guess Bristling Hydra is really not at its best in this match, is it? I feel like Bristling Hydra is really bad here. Might be bad enough that I want to cut them all. We can get their life pretty low though, like Walking Ballista can do a lot of different things. I think I'm actually just not going to play the Nissa on the draw. I might bring it back in on the play, but I don't think I'm going to play it on the draw. It might be a little hard to protect on the draw. They don't have a ton of spot removal. Yeah, they don't have a ton of spot removal, and we do have Duresses in the gate, so I think we can maybe shave on some Blossoming defenses as well. You'd only cut threats for threats. Well, the only threat we took out was Bristling Hydra, and we brought Scarab in. So we kind of did just cut a threat for a threat. Alright, we'll keep this in. This hand's actually really good again. Lead with you into Lone Tusk Cub and see if we can get swollen and swollen quick. Yeah, all the disruption was probably too much. I probably wanted like 2 negates and the full 4 of the other. What do you do? Enters the battlefield, draw a card, and you lose a life. That card's good. Alright, well, let's start with you. I like Opponent's Brew. Opponent's Brew is doing some things. And it's always better to be doing some things than doing no things. It's a good card to sacrifice the hidden stockpile as well. Oh, he's just playing another one of those? Yeah, that card's actually pretty nice. Let's start with this one. So, he can only chump block now, he can't trade. There's a good chance I'm going to try to duress this turn. Oh, he's going to take the damage? I'm just going to deal the damage to him because I actually want my mana right now. And like say he had a fatal push and didn't let me deal combat damage or something, I think that would have been really bad for me. Hidden stockpile, fumigate, fumigate, fumigate. Well then. Well then. Whee! Whee! There's not a good card for me to take. If I let him keep the stockpile, he plays stockpile next turn, gets a scry, we play Brontodon, kill it, and he untaps and plays Fumigate, and we can't even use our negate. I guess I have to take the stockpile then. Maybe if we take the stockpile, we can chain into another negate or something. I think we have to play the stockpile. Or we're just setting ourselves up to get fumigated. Like the first fumigate will resolve if we don't take the stockpile. Well, that's a new card. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm just blind. So, I play this, attack with both. He's just going to chump at that point. He's going to just chump the following turn as well. So I just don't play anything then, right? I assume he's just going to chump. This is too much damage for him now. Who knows? I mean, we can beat that. We just have to draw some stuff. Well, he's not casting it this turn? Sure. So he's got 3 Fumigates and an Unknown. I'm just going to tap and Lost Legacy Fumigate. Kinda just want to play another Walking Constrictor, but like, it's just really not going to resolve. Or, I mean, not going to do anything. I guess it makes him block, and it gives us to a point where we'll just win if we draw Walking Constrictor next turn? Or Winding Constrictor? Or, sorry, Walking Ballista? I'll spit it out. We just probably win, too, if we draw another, negate. So I think we have, like, 5 cards that practically just let us win from here. Obviously in bad shape versus everything else, though. 6 cards, like Scarab God's really good here as well. That one doesn't do anything. Alright. Kind of flooding out in our 21 land deck, but that's okay. It's going to be hard for us to win from this this spot. It's going to be very hard for us to win from this spot. I probably shouldn't have cast the other Winding Constrictor. I don't think the other Winding Constrictor did enough for us. Kinda just don't even want to play that. Just gonna pass. Want to get some value out of it. I don't want him just to be able to like untap and use a random removal spell on it. I want to kill a hidden stockpile or an anointed procession or something. Still drawing the villains. Guess I'll play it at this point. I mean, we deserve to get a draw like this based on how great our draw was game one. Because we had a fantastical draw game one. We're not just dead, though. Like, you can draw Scarab right now and even get a card back. Vraska would be hard for us to beat. Yeah, that's the hardest one for us to beat. Can't end the game at this point. He has way too many life. Basically have a turn for Scarab, but we do have Hadana's in our deck as well, so like, we have a lot of cards that can just draw 4 Fumigates. How do we beat that? So Walking Ballista into Hadamas would win the game if he doesn't use this on either of them. I mean, he's going to use this on one of them, so that doesn't really help, but if. Keep saying if. Don't think we actually have an out then. This card's kind of an out. Now, so if we draw Hadana's, this thing attacks for 14 flying in one turn. So we still have outs even in this board spot. We just draw Hadana's Climb and attacking for 14. We know his last 2 cards in his hand are Fumigate. So he kind of has to use a Fumigate this turn. He's not attacking with a Maul, so I guess he's not using Fumigate. Alright, Hadana's Climb and we win. Let's do it. We did not do it. We kind of don't want to play this because he's more likely to use a Fumigate if we do. He's much more likely to use a Fumigate if we play this. To my graveyard. And then a land. Yeah, we shouldn't be able to win, but I mean, who knows? I don't think I want to bring Vraska's Contempts in just because we saw Vraska. I don't think that changes anything for us. I'm actually going to just double block this here because I really don't want him casting Fumigate. And our Jade Ranger does literal nothing. Literal nothing. Alright, this is our last turn to draw it. 14-point attack, go. We are 40 or 20 cards into our deck. 21, not 20. Yeah, we hit another land. Alright, we don't have an out now. We don't have an out now. Maybe we draw Winding Constrictor to keep this off ultimate and to do enough damage to him that a Hadana's Climb can get there. So like maybe we have like some backdoor outs. but probably not with the Shefet Dunes. Though he didn't use Shefet Dunes this turn. So I think that still gives us a chance then. No. Alright. I guess we're just dead then. But we had several turns to actually have top decks and win. Alright, so do we want to change anything? Feel like maybe the negates aren't as good as I really thought. The Hydra was as bad as I thought. Kind of just really want this card in the deck. I just don't think I want these at all. Think this card can actually win a game in this deck, or versus what we've saw. Think I want this one as well, because I feel like we can get him to a low life total and we need a way to push through the damage. I'm not going to worry about Vraska. We have no green mana. We have to mulligan, don't we? Yeah, I don't think we can risk this hand. This hand's pretty terrible. I'm not going to mulligan it, though. I'm not going to keep that either. Yeah, the negate wasn't great, but I mean, if he'd only had one Wrath or two Wraths, that negate would have been great, right? His hand's pretty bad as well. It's going to be which one of us gets there first with our really bad hand. We both have terrible draws at this point. Feel like we have better draws in our deck, though. Angel of Sanctions is annoying. We don't have any Blossoming Defenses or Veraskas, but we didn't see anything like that in the other two games. Didn't see anything like that at all. Yeah, but him going off of stockpile doesn't really do much. He has to have multiple things for the stockpile to work. Like, the stockpile doesn't work on its own. I'm actually going to keep that. There's a good chance that I'm going to need to pump this card up. And if I did put that card in the bottom, there's a small chance that I hit a land and I can't attack for the Sunscourge Champion. Which isn't where I want to be. This kind of sucks for me that he gets to do his thing here, but that was actually really good for me. I mean, we're obviously in bad shape, though. Nobody would ever say we're in good shape here. We're just not, we're going to struggle beating the Angel of Sanctions this game. I think that's our big problem. We're going to struggle hard to beat this Angel of Sanctions. Didn't know he had it in his deck, though, so I think it was pretty reasonable not to, like, put a random Vraska and Contempt in just for it. And I wouldn't have took out a negate for it anyway. I'd have took out, like, the extra Winding Constrictor. Maybe something else, I'm not sure. Alright, well, I guess I'm attacking with just this guy. Actually, I'm attacking with both. If he double blocks, I plan on using 4 mana to kill the servo anyway. If he chooses to just single block, I'll also play this. Kind of forces my hand here. Think I want to kill both? I have to at least kill that one to keep our dude alive. I think I just want to kill both. I don't really care if he gets a 4/4 back. Stops him from having something to use the hidden stockpile on next turn as well. Oh wow, he's got a Fumigate. That was about the worst case for us. We did have several draw steps to find it, but... Yep. We're just... I don't think we even have an out at this point. I could be wrong, but I don't think we do. I think this card's going to be too hard for us to beat. I mean, we can hit like... I don't know, like a Bristling Hydra into an Island into a Hadana's Climb, but I mean, it's going to take 3+ spells at this point. I think the negates should come in versus any deck that has Fumigates. Like, we didn't know he had Angel of Sanction, so to our knowledge, he didn't have a single card in his deck that mattered that wasn't negatable. Turns out that may not necessarily be true based on the draws. Alright, well. Opponent's drawn very well on top of everything else. Just very well on top of everything else. Alright, well, no 5-0 Dream's dead. I don't think this match is that bad. I think Hadama's Climb actually puts us as a favorite in a match like this, but like I said, we drew very poorly those games, but I think we drew above the line where you mulligan. Hopefully we'll at least get to 4-1. Going multiple nights in a row 3-0 into 3-2 would be a little discouraging. I thought we would take that one down though, cause like I thought game 1 would be hard and game 2 and 3 would be pretty easy, or at least pretty reasonable. And where we won, you know, that game 1, I just assumed that we were going to get game 2 or 3. I wonder who else is streaming tonight. What do we got going on here? Not a lot in terms of standard, actually. And we'll play first. And we won the dice row. So we'll start off by playing first. And again, we can't keep this hand. Just can't keep it without the green mana. 2 games in a row that this green mana has been a problem. Alright, we'll keep this hand. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep this land. We already have a Bristling Hydra in our hand. Choose which land we play, or which one of our 2 drops we play based on, like, maybe what type of land he's playing. Playing a white mana of some kind, so we're just going to go ahead and play the Glint Siphoner. Like, it's less likely to die versus white mana decks. And more likely the one I would want to protect from an Essence Scatter type effect. There is the new 2 mana white, like, kill you, or, like, exile your dude spell or whatever, but, feel like it's still just worth it. So if this is approach, which who knows whether it is or not, it could be tokens, it could be anything at this point. We are actually pretty poor versus them game 1, but we have a pretty good sideboard plan versus them. Like, we've been winning the sideboard games pretty consistently, I think. I think I'm just going to play this one. This will start building up energy and drawing extra cards, because this is like the one thing we can do. Hey, Green Badger, what's up, man? Oh, so he's black-white. So black-white control, hidden stockpile, something like that. Is this the second stockpile deck in a row? It's not real common if it is. Maybe black-white vampires? Yeah, black-white vampires maybe. So we'll draw our card. We did hit a land, which is nice. See if we can figure out what we're getting with this card first. We certainly don't want that. Actually, I kind of do want this card. So if I'm playing this card on the following turn, I'll leave up Blossoming Defense on this turn. Your Billions game? Your We Are the Billions game, or are you talking about this Magic game? 6-5 on 4 while holding up Blossoming Defense is pretty good too. I'm actually going to go ahead and protect that. Yeah, it seemed pretty cool. I was really glad you liked it. I noticed Civ's only $12 on the Humble Bundle. I'm highly considering buying it. I'll probably offer him the Jade Light Ranger for this at this point. I don't think the Jade Light Ranger gets considerably better, and I think there's a good chance that he could have like a sweeper in his deck. Well, now that he showed me Glint Siphoner, I do not think he would have a sweeper in his deck. I think that the odds of that went down a lot, I think. I think I'm still going to offer him this, though. Like, I don't put much value into this. And I don't want to get too far behind on board, and it makes my Glint Siphoners better if that's going. But killing it could just be wrong, because they are the Hadana's Climbs in our deck. Yeah, on hindsight, I don't think killing it was right. I was just trying to think of a way that lets my Siphoners attack a little more freely. He's already showed us 3 removal spells though, and he's drawing extra cards. We'll be drawing extra cards. Regal Caracol. Yeah, I'm not willing to trade Siphoner for Siphoner. I think my cards are better than his. That was a good draw. Alright, so now we really want our climb. Or we want something. 3 lands certainly isn't something. It doesn't matter if it's the same card. I think my cards are better than his, and my deck needs the energy more than his. So this thing is a 6/6, so it eats at least 2 of his things. I think I'm willing to let it eat 2 of his things. Willing to trade 1 Siphoner? No, I'm not. I want to draw cards with my Siphoners. I want to draw at least 1 card next turn. If he blocks it for both, I'm going to remove 1. I'm not going to save my Lone Tusk Cub, I don't think, because I want to draw cards. I don't know, maybe it's worth saving my Lone Tusk Cub. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to let him have value for nothing. And the Lone Tusk Cub's actually insane right now. For example, if we draw a Dauntless Climb, the Lone Tusk Cub just does 16 damage. The cards can have different values in different decks. There's an argument, though, that if I was going to attack with the Merfolk, I could have attacked with both. What do? You pay 7 mana to kill something. Activate only during your turn. What happens if I do that? He's gonna like double block one of these? Alright, I guess he's just conceding to that? I didn't think that was a good spot for him to concede. I think he would have double blocked one of these. And then like had to chump block that. And take 6, but he gains 4. Well, whatever. Alright, so what do we think our opponent's playing? Definitely think I want the Vraska's Contempt. Kinda think I want the Scarab. Not sure if I want anything else. Definitely don't want that. I don't think he was ahead on board, but I think it was close. Maybe I just don't want any of the Walking Ballistas, and I want the Die Youngs here. Die Youngs are good if he's gonna like play Von Butchers and the Efferborns. But the 4/4 doesn't do anything really. It costs him 7 life to kill my big stuff. And my big stuff, my one big thing can get hexproof. So you can like kill a Lone Tusk Cub with it for at the price of 7 life. 7 life's probably more damage than that Lone Tusk Cub was likely to do that game. Not sure what I want to cut. If I'm just gonna take the Hedonist Climb back out, I think the card's great, but like I keep feeling like these decks are Fumigate stuff. I think possibly, but he has to tap it and stuff to trade it, and he has to tap it as sorcery speed. He can't tap it at instant speed. So if he taps it, that means I get a free attack in with my other guys. But you're paying more than 7. You're snap paying 7. You're removing your blocker. You're removing your 4 lifelink, and you're letting all of my stuff attack for essentially 3. Like that's a lot more than just killing my cub. Yeah, but if he attacks pre-combat, or if he attacks, I just block it and kill it, right? I don't think opponent was super dead. I think it would have come to draws. Yeah, I mean, I don't think opponent would concede, but I don't think opponent was ahead. Keep in mind that I'm drawing 2 cards a turn, and one Hadama's Reach at any points wins the game. Like, we would have legitimately won if we drew a single Hadama's Reach. Now, apparently opponent's a 3-color deck, so that might explain his early concession as well. Since we never saw green mana from our opponent and had no idea that it was an Abzan deck. I could have protected this with the Blossoming Defense, but I'm not actually sure it's worth all that. I think it sets us back too much, and we already have a 3-drop. I would not have conceded where he was at, but I don't think I was behind. I wasn't out of energy. I was gaining 6 energy on that attack. Like, I gained 6 energy on that attack. The only reason I would make that attack was for the 6 energy. Or was for the 6 energy. Like, I was specifically attacking for the 6 energy. No, it just has to attack. They just have to tap. They just have to turn sideways for the energy. I think I'm actually willing to keep this card here. Because like Matt said, it seems like our opponent has a lot of removal spell, and we're going to need something to use our climb on. Nope, they just have to tap. Or they have to attack. Attack, rather, not tap. If you use an Icy Manipulator on it, you do not get your energy. They have to actually tap. But I was only even considering the attack for the energy. So we still have a Blossoming Defense here. This thing becomes 5 power. Icy Manipulator is my favorite art on a Magic card of all time, like the original beta. If anybody ever wants to buy me a nice painting for my home, that'll be the one that makes me smile. This is something opponent could have did during his turn and not gave us a chance to do the Blossoming Defense. So now we get to deal 7 damage this turn and put him at 11. While flipping and gaining a point of mana. So I have a lot of good cards we can draw here. Winged Temple. Oh, that's the back end of it, the climb. Sure. Yeah, so he's got a Cast Out. Short. Cast Out's a good card. It's one of the reasons we kept this little Lone Tusk Cub, though. Yep, doubles its power. It's a really nice card. They potentially made a mistake on that turn. Oh, wow. He doesn't have a removal spell. He's Dobbs. Opponent needs a removal spell. Walking Ballista is not a removal spell. I mean, it is, but it ain't, you know? Alright, well, let's start with this. Just to get it off the board. Still needs a removal spell. May or may not have it, who knows. We'll tap you for blue, you for green, you for colorless, player Hedonist Climb. Put a counter on you, which flips you, and lets us attack for 10. Really? I think prices will go down quite a bit. Anyway, so nice little 4-1 today, but we played versus some less tier 1 decks from today. We didn't play versus nearly as many tier 1 and 2 decks as we did yesterday. We only lost versus a hidden stockpile deck today, which I kind of feel like we're good versus in general. So, was there anything that I wanted to try today? I'm going to get rid of the Nissa. The Nissa's just not felt good. There's not been very many places that I've really wanted to sideboard it in, though I do think there's a lot of matches I want this second Scarab God. Other than that, I think all of our main deck changes felt pretty good. The mana felt pretty good today. There was some draws where like we didn't draw a green mana or whatever, but we have 17 green mana in our deck, so I don't think that's super unlikely. Like I think we're gonna draw green mana pretty often. Maybe we could shave one swamp for one more forest. Now that we have an extra double green spell in our deck, something we'll consider. The negates and the duresses weren't particularly great today. Maybe that's just too many of that effect. Maybe we want to cut one of these out. But I think I'm going to have to play more to figure out what I think I'm going to get paired versus. You know, I don't really want to call this a brew because like it's just Jade Light Rangers over, you know, it's just a few changes from like a normal Sultai fish decks. So like I'm not going to call it a brew, but still, the testing's pretty encouraging so far. We've gone 7-3 during, you know, these last 2 days while we're testing it, and we've played, you know, we did play versus some real decks. We've beat Approach twice. We beat, we went 2-1 versus Approach, 1-1 versus Teamer, 1-0 versus Red Deck Wins, and then we beat a lot of stuff like Pummeler. We beat that like 3-color cat deck. What else did we beat today? We beat Red Deck Wins, Pummeler, that cat deck, and what today? What else did we beat? I literally can't remember the 5 matches from today. I do not remember the other deck we beat. Wow, I'm a little tilted that I can't remember that. It was this guy, right? What was he playing? Oh, it was the Merfolk deck. The deck that I liked so much and thought was so good. I think that Merfolk deck is really real. Like, if I wasn't working on this deck, I would immediately jump and start working on Merfolk deck based on how powerful it felt in the one match I got paired versus it. Like, it felt like there was something there. It felt like there was something very, very good there. Anyway, sorry, Matt. I'm definitely hopping off here. I have not ate today, and I am very hungry. But I do appreciate you guys all stopping by. Remember to click the follow button if you like it. We try to stream every day, and we try to stream mostly standard. We're going to look for somebody real quick to try to host. See if I can find anybody that's playing an actual standard brew of some kind. It's looking like Z Magic is probably going to get the host. He's playing a deck that says it's blue-black value. So, blue-black value it is. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for coming by again, Gio. It's always good to see you. Matt, I'll probably talk to you on Facebook. Let me know if you're going to the pre-release tomorrow, by the way, Matt. Anyway, take care, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow. We may play a Merfolk deck because that looks sweet, but we may just, try this deck again and see what changes we can find that we want. Because it kind of feels bad that we're not playing Chupacabra, but like it didn't work out well day one. I don't know. Anyway, take care, everybody. I'm outie.